the topic of adopting technologies, the way forward. So let's invite for this our Naga Group has been in business since 1942, originally started as a grocery wholesaler in Chennai and transformed several times over these decades. Presently, the group is focused on an integrated business model of QSR, consumer food processing, agri-processing, branded contract manufacturing, feed and allied business in the form of energy, logistics and financial services to support the core business. Sundar Kannan was born on 11th April 1981 in Vellore, India. He was schooled in Belmont House and later attended manufacturing engineering in RMIT. He then commenced working in Naga as a third generation family member in 2004. During this period, he has developed operational and strategic management capabilities across a wide range of business functions, presently leading the consumer vertical and new strategic initiatives. So none other than let's invite for this Mr. Sundar Kannan, MD of Naga Limited, for the topic of adopting technologies, the way forward. Hello.
Good afternoon to all. ஆரம்பிக்கு முன்னாடியே கொட்டாய் விடுறீங்களே, இதை வந்து சொன்னா கூட பரவாயில்ல, அதுக்கு முன்னாடியே கொட்டாய் விடுறீங்க. சரி, ஸோ once again, good afternoon to all. I have the privilege of finishing off this session. I'm sure it was a wonderful day since morning, action packed. I heard a lot of fireworks was happening before lunch. I'll try to finish it off on a good note and a high note. I'm here. So my sincere thanks to Mr. Subramaniam. I have great admiration for what he does. இவர் 2 வருஷமா நான் அவரை வந்து பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கேன். And very few people, I can tell you, very few people அவங்கள தாண்டி, அவங்க குடும்பத்தை தாண்டி, அவங்க கம்பெனியை தாண்டி யோசிக்கிறவங்க. அதில் சில very few person is this gentleman. I think he deserves a very big clap. And he's always been supportive in any initiative. So when he said that he have to come, I did not have any answer apart from saying yes. So thank you very much. The topic which is given to me is on technology and the way forward. Just a small raise of hands. How many people are here from students? Any students? Very from the industry. How many of you are from the product side? Okay. How many of you do multiple products? Sure. So, ஆக மொத்தத்தில் வந்து somewhere between 60% doing products, அதில் வந்து marketing, sales, business development. Let me ask reverse. How many does not have an exclusive sales, distribution, business development team? Lift your hands. Okay. Sure. So, run a business. And I'm not from a technological background. I run the Palayagalth business, typical trading and then manufacturing, then distribution, those kind of old age business. And from that perspective, I'll tell you. Then I'll tell you from another perspective, like what I have learned from looking into companies, because now I started off in the investment mode. So when I mean investment, we do some kind of equity investment, but more we look also at debt investment. And I've seen a lot of startups and I've seen a lot of small emerging companies, and under perspective, I have a look at it. So I'll tell you from 2 perspectives. So the first perspective is from a company perspective, from an old economy business. I find the most of the companies or most of the suppliers in the room, I'm only taking this as an example, not exactly the people in this room. When they reach companies, they are not aware of what they are talking about. I'll give you an example. Excel. I'm talking a simple product. Excel. Okay, let's say take Tally. Tally உங்களுக்கு வேணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு யாராச்சும் உங்களுக்கு மார்க்கெட்டிங் பண்ணாங்களா? சார் உங்கள் கம்பெனி ரன் பண்ணுறதுக்கு டேலி ஒரு நல்ல ப்ராடக்ட், இதை வச்சுக்கங்க, இதை வச்சுக்கிட்டா வந்து ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் will be very simple. Did anybody come and tell you? Anybody? Please lift your hands. Who bought Tally because you were marketed into Tally? Nobody lifted your hands. Who got into Excel? Forget when Excel. Let's say take WhatsApp. Who got into WhatsApp because somebody told you it's good? Now, what is the difference between those products and your product? ஒன்னு நீங்க எல்லாம் தூங்குறீங்க இல்ல என் கேள்வி ரொம்ப காம்ப்ளிகேட்டடா இருக்கு. Let me ask a simple question. Why is your product any different? Okay, let's go more precise. Let us take for example, but Tally could எடுத்துக்கலாமே. Tally is a very specialized product. It is only for accountants. Every business needs Tally. Fantastic. So let's take for example, I'll take Subramanian's example because I know his example. Okay, he is into this asset utilization software. Especially in the construction industries. That's what he does. Okay, but if I go and ask in the industry, in the construction industry, how many people have used his product and so on, what do you think the answer will be? Do you think he's got 50% market share? Forget market share, let's even talk mind share. Does 50% people say that they know his product? Will 40, 30, அவங்க underestimate பண்றாங்க. They don't know ஆளை பார்த்து turnover இடவே போடாதீங்க. What do you think will be a market share will be? I'll give him say market share lam pesan too much. Let's talk about how many clients he'll have. Does he have 10, 20, 30, 40 clients? That is what we'll be looking at. We'll not talk about from a market share. Why? Any questions? That is not a problem. It's okay with niche product. But why does nobody know about his product? Fantastic. Why no marketing? Okay, fine. Sales, marketing, let's say sales, marketing, business development, how you say it. Why it is not the case?
You may have a confidence that without the marketing or sales, you can take it to the right place. You don't know his actual market.
He does not know his actual market. Anybody else?
Solving the main.
நீங்க எல்லாம் ரொம்ப ஜென்யூனா ரொம்ப நியாயமா பேசுங்க. நான் சொல்றேன் மார்க்கெட்டிங் பசங்களை அஃபோர்ட் பண்ண முடியல. they are too bloody expensive. ஓகேங்களா? ரெண்டாவது அப்படியே எடுத்து போட்டாலும் செம்ம கதை சுத்தி ஊர் சுத்துவாங்க. சார் ஐ வெண்ட் சார் ஐ met சார் they told once they ask come again come twice come thriceங்குவாங்க. none of them converted to business. இத பார்த்தேன் அவங்களுக்கு செலவு பண்ணது பதில் நானே பேசாம என் தெரிஞ்சவங்களுக்கு ஃபோன் போட்டு பாத்துக்கிறது பெட்டர்னு சொல்லி முடிவு பண்ணிருப்பாரு. எஸ் சார் கேட்கல உங்களுக்கு? And this is not only his. I can repeat this. This is majority of the people in the room like apdi da irukum. So the biggest challenge, especially in product companies, and especially they don't have the right person to come and study my business. To come into my, see, if I open my door and say, please come, look at what I'm doing today and study now, I can't open my door for all of you to come into my company and say, okay, you will have 1 product, 2 product, 3 product, 4 product, 5 product, 6 product, 7 product. You can't open up and say, over at you cooked panna mudiyadilla. So the biggest problem, especially when we go into the let's say people who don't understand the IT world, is that we do not know இது specific solar. So இதெல்லாம் okay, but I only provide the software. I will not provide the interface to get the GPS data. I will now provide the GPS. அதுக்கு நீங்க இந்த வெண்டரை போய் பார்த்துக்கணுங்க வரு. அப்பமே சரி man, where will the data sit? சார் அதுக்கு I will not say that's a database. தனியா வந்து நீங்க cloudல போய் போடுங்க, lakeல போய் போடுங்க, அது தனியா அவர்கிட்ட போய் பாருங்க வரு. சரி மேம் அது போடுறதுக்கு சார் நாங்க ரிப்போர்ட்ல எடுக்க மாட்டோம் சார், அதுக்கு நீங்க PowerBI போடுங்க, அவங்க தனியா உங்களுக்கு ரிப்போர்ட்ஸ்ல எடுத்து கொடுப்போங்க. As complicated it can be, unless you know what you want, and I'm sure that all of you in the room you know because you're in the subject. If I talk about, for example, wheat, do you know how many types of wheat is there? Do you know where it is grown? Do you know what is the composition? Do you know what is the extraction? Do you know what is the price? Do you know what is the moisture? நான் கேட்டுட்டே போலாம். உங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா? இதுமே நான் காட்ட முடியல, எனக்கு இதெல்லாம் தெரியும் உனக்கு தெரியாதுன்னு சொல்றமே. நீ ஐடி லெவல் எல்லாம் சொல்லிட்டு எனக்கு தெரியலன்னு சொல்லும்போது நான் மட்டும் என்ன பண்றது? And this is not a problem only what I face. I can tell you the entire industry faces this. So the one of the biggest I would suggest forward for the people in this room is that you guys have to come together. And I would suggest, and this model has worked very well overseas. It is not a model which has worked very well in India. The point is that coming together and creating a consortium of services and having one representative, and that one representative is usually the person who goes to the client, and the client la poi paakumbodhu he will look at their entire business, and that business la edu romba challenging, edu romba need இருக்கோ அந்த டெக்னாலஜி பர்சனோட கரெக்டா டெக்னாலஜி லிங்க் பண்ணு. Let's say for example we go into this thing. It is not for example that the construction asset utilization the problem for them. For them the problem is, for example, is a resource management. Let's say human resource management. That digitalization is maybe a bigger issue for them today than this and so on. To give that solution first, that is probably, does that make sense ungalku? It doesn't make sense. Okay, I'll give another example. இப்போ நீங்க ஒரு மல்டி கடைக்கு போறீங்க, ஒரு ஷாப். You go into the supermarket with the aim that you'll pick up whatever you want. You want rice, you want salt, you want oil, you want anything you want, you go there, you pick it up yourself, or at maximum you'll ask the person and they'll give you. Imagine that you have to walk to every shop, you have to walk to a separate shop to get fruits. You have to walk to a separate shop to get vegetables. You have to walk to a separate shop to get oil. Can you imagine how inconvenient that can be? You understand? But is that not the way we are doing business today? Yes or no? No, yes. No. It's very, very convenient. Please சொல்லுங்க.
இல்ல சார், சாஃப்ட்வேர் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி அப்படி ஆப்ரேட் ஆகல. நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி சிரமம் கொடுக்குற மாதிரி தான்.
Well, if you now look at the point of, for example, let's now take a small leaf, let's look into Google. I know it's not right comparison. Google was a one product company, which was only a search. Today, tell me what is they're not into. If you operate a enterprise, any and everything what you want, they try to fix a solution for everything. Whether the solution is good quality, bad quality, there are so many other people doing a much better job. But it's very difficult today. If you even have the world's best super duper calendar, you will still not get an entry because that calendar is just one more feature in a operating system. Do you understand that? Likewise, okay, the need what you have to do is that today, for example, I tell you, there are, for example, in Australia, there's a company where they take up responsibility for bringing the clients and then matching them with the business, and they take usually a share out of the business what they generate. So on the கதை சொன்னோம்ல, எக்ஸ்பென்சிவ் மார்க்கெட்டிங் பர்சன் ஆர் unnecessary travel expenditure இதெல்லாம் கூட அங்கே சேவ் ஆகிறதுக்கு ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் methodology அங்கே இருக்கு. So they work with them because the accountability is there. Second point is, even if one product does not work, for example, when you pick up with so many different people, when things don't work together, the vendors lift a hand and say, this is not my scope. Whereas when everything is pooled together, the responsibility, why are people so happy with SAP? Even though it is a very, very, very expensive, very, very, very difficult program and very, very, very unsuccessful implementation, yet people run into SAP. Yes or no? You wish you had SAP, right? And my product. But because of the one-stop solution is what? Now, this is the side, if you're talking about from a non-technical side, we're looking at it. Now, if you talk about, for example, from a startup, or I'm talking about from let's say only from IT company. OD poitar example eduthu kudan solittu. You're here? Okay, my apologies. Okay. When I now look at from a hardcore technology side, you know what I find, what people do? People say, I worked 3 years, 5 years in the industry. I got 3 people together. We thought we'll build up a product. We spent 3 years in the product. We spent 30 lakhs, okay, 50 lakhs, whatever it is, additional apart from our time involvement. Now we have this product. The product is worth about 1.5 to 2 crores. We have one client, but they're not able to get business. So we want equity. Okay, and what are you going to do with equity? We are going to build more products. ஏன் சிரிக்கிறீங்க? உங்க ஸ்டோரியை நான் அப்படியே சொல்லிட்டேன்னா, you already built a product, okay, the product is ready, you hardly have any customers, okay, and you come and raise capital with a primary objective of creating more. Okay, I ask a question, why? Because the first thing what they would have done is that, okay, we'll go straight to the solution because I think we're running short of. We have time. Okay. So we'll also have some question answers, but we'll have some time. So one thing what I found out is that Leaving aside deep tech or leaving aside hardcore investments, and we're talking about the AI models, I'm talking about simple products. The point what companies are failing to do is that they are not able to crack, or they're not able to bring a, pardon my language, Americanization into the product. And what do I mean by Americanization? How do you bring your product for free? I've yet to see people say that for chat GPT, who in the room does not have chat GPT? Lift your hand. Okay, who in the room pays for your chat GPT $20 per month? Lift your hand. Okay, roomல இருக்கிறது ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ஒரு 130 பேர் இருப்பீங்க. அதுல 3 பேர் மட்டும் தான் கை தூக்குனாங்க. They are going to pay that 2,000 rupees per, okay, $20 per month. Everybody here is sitting on a freemium product. And I can tell you, when somebody is giving something for free, what are they selling? Very good. Now the same thing I'm asking for you. When your product, I'll always ask the first question to them is that, why are you don't have a freemium version of it? Why are you not allowing the customer to try out your product? Why are you not allowing, sir, what is a free kutra nana sir pandrathu? Again, I'll take the Subramaniam example. Our solar, sir, JCB ki, I charge, for example, 1,000 rupees. Seri man, average on customers எத்தனை வச்சிருப்பாங்க? சார், என் கஸ்டமர்ஸ்ல ஆவரேஜா 10, 20, 30 வச்சிருப்பாங்க. பட் ஆவரேஜ் அட்லீஸ்ட் 10 கிலோ ஆளே கிடையாதுன்னு. Okay, why don't you convert it as a freemium product and give it for every person can use for the first 5 JCB free? So when you come from this side, how are you able to make your product popular? Forget the fact, நாளைக்கு இங்க போய் காட்டும் போது ஒரு டேஷ்போர்ட்ல பிரசன்டேஷன் காட்டும் போது, look at so many people are running my software னு காட்டலாமா காட்ட வேண்டாமா? உங்களுக்கு புரியலீங்களா? I'm சொல்றேன், இதெல்லாம் வேல்யூ. If you show, நீ எவ்வளவு லைசன்ஸ் சார்ஜ் பண்றன்னு முக்கியம் இல்ல, எவ்வளவு பேர் யூஸ் பண்றாங்கன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் முக்கியம். நெக்ஸ்ட், அந்த யூஸ் பண்றவங்க எவ்வளவு சாஃப்ட்வேர் யூஸ் பண்றாங்க, the utilization of the software. சார், எனக்கு இந்த ஃபீச்சர் இருக்கு, அந்த ஃபீச்சர் இருக்கு. Very few people come and talk to me on feature utilization. So first and foremost, people don't talk about how many people are using it. Then they don't talk about feature utilization. அதுக்கப்புறமே the question about the premiumization. இந்த சர்வீஸ்க்கு மேல போனா I will charge X amount. Now this is a version, when I see from this perspective, why people are completely lacking it. Because இன்னைக்கு if somebody says that எங்களுக்கு ஆள் கிடைக்கல for growing the business ன்னு சொன்னா, no, there are plenty of people. In fact, அங்க பாருங்க, பின்னாடியே 13 பசங்க இருக்காங்க, தாராளமா கூட்டு போங்க. என்ன, you have to invest 3 months in your time. அவங்க சொல்லி கொடுக்கணும், அதுல பாதி பேர் ஓடி போயிருவாங்க. ஓகேங்களா? அந்த எக்கனாமிக்ஸ்லாம் போட்டு பார்த்துட்டு நீங்க ஒர்க் பண்ணுங்க. இட்ஸ் நாட் அ ப்ராப்ளம் ஆஃப் பீப்புள். பீப்புள் ஆர் அவைலபிள் டுடே. இட் இஸ் நாட் த கேஸ் ஆஃப் பிசினஸ். பிசினஸ் இஸ் அவைலபிள் டுடே. So your raw material is people, that is available. Your end business is there, but the only challenge is, well, I think it's an industry curse, and I don't blame you by saying it. Every person in this room, whoever is part of the so-called, or whoever running this technology company, they're all technocrats. அப்படின்னா உங்களுக்கு தெரியும்ல, they don't come from எங்களை மாதிரி தெருவா போயிட்டு அண்ணா வாங்கிக்கிறீங்களா, அம்மா வாங்கிக்கிறீங்களா கேட்க மாட்டாங்க. That is too lower for them in that level to go. So they all have studied, they have been, let's say, AC room babies, they've all been, let's say, programmers. So அந்த லெவலே அவங்க இருக்கிறதுனால they find it very, very difficult to go in front of the customer, put a solution and get rejected and get stamped upon, and yet to come back and say, I've got some solution for you ன்னு சொல்றது is not, which comes naturally to them. And that is the fundamental difference why companies are very conservative. Okay, ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு ஆர்டர் கிடைக்காதா, கான்ட்ராக்ட், they are even willing to switch over from a product to a service very easily. அது என்னப்பா சிம்பிளா கொடுத்துறாங்க, I bill it at $25, he bills it at $35, no problem, $25 எனக்கு வந்துருது. இந்தியன் ருபீஸ்ல போட்டு பார்த்தா $15 ஆகுது. $10 மோட்ட கணக்கெல்லாம் கரெக்டா இல்லையா? நீங்க யோசிக்கிற பார்த்து. ஓகே, சர்வீஸ் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி நம்பர்ஸ் இவ்வளவுதான் இருக்கும். ஓகேங்களா? இதுக்கு மேல ஒன்றும் விஷயம் ஒன்றும் கிடையாது. How long is this so-called body shop low cost is going to work? So, but you can say that, sir, Narinal Vaka, even TCS himself, Wipro himself, Infosys themselves are still getting 95% of the income only through services. So, I can't tell you, for example, it's a bad, but unfortunately or fortunately, they started in the previous generation. They already hit multiple milestones. So, for you to be today relevant, and for you to make more sense on the technology going forward, you can just go and ask a simple question. You can go into any company and ask a simple question, what is your turnover? And then the next question you should ask is, what do you spend on technology? இப்போ அந்த டாக்டர் கிட்ட போனாங்கன்னா சொல்லுங்கண்ணா, எனக்கு முதல்ல என்ன கேட்பாங்க, உடம்பு சரியில்லைண்ணா, what is the first thing they'll ask? Okay, depends on what it is, but let's say for the sake of argument, okay, first அவங்க கேட்கறது, okay, let's say ஒரு உடம்பு சரியில்லைன்னு சொன்னா முதல்ல என்ன, ஒன்று டெம்பரேச்சர் கேட்பாங்க, இல்லை பிபி கேட்பாங்க, இல்லை சுகரை கேட்பாங்க, இல்லை வெயிட்டை கேட்பாங்க, இல்லை மிஞ்சி போனா இன் அண்ட் அவுட் அவர் சொன்ன மாதிரி வாந்தி பேதி என்ன கேட்பாங்க. இந்த 5 தான் எனி டாக்டர் 80% ஆஃப் டயக்னோசிஸ் பேஸ்ட் ஆன் தி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் क्वेश्चन. தான் 5 क्वेश्चन தான். எஸ் ஆர் நோ. யாருமே டாக்டருக்கே போனது இல்லையா? எஸ் ஆர் நோ. வேற ஏதாச்சும் கேட்பாங்களா? கேட்க மாட்டாங்களா? உங்க போன் டென்சிட்டி என்ன, உங்க பிளட் செல் கவுண்ட் என்ன, ஏதாச்சும் கேட்பாங்களா? That is not the first question at all. So when you go into an industry or when you go into a company, you can ask the first thing is by just knowing that industry, okay, you are going industry and just asking them what their turnover is and asking them what their technology spend is going to give you a clear cut idea what is the potential that you are sitting on. Now you understand the potential, the next thing to do is how well are you ready to mine that value out of them. If you are, I'll give you an example. Okay, any guesses? Anybody from apart from here IT தவிர வேற யாராச்சும் இருக்கீங்களா? No? Okay, we'll take IT example, sir. If I go to an IT company and ask a pure products company, what is your spend on technology? What will be the answer? Nobody's answering. Sir, நாங்க அடுத்தவங்களுக்கு தான் விப்போம், நாங்க எங்களுக்கெல்லாம் போட்டு பார்க்க மாட்டோம், அதனால எங்களெல்லாம் இதெல்லாம் கேட்காதீங்க அப்படிதானே சொல்றீங்க? No. Sir, I'll ask a simpler question. Let's talk, for example, what is your manpower? Usually, what is manpower as a percentage of your total sales for an IT company? Expenses, like, for example, 100 ரூபாய் turnover இருந்தா manpower cost என்னவா இருக்கும்? 60 to 70%. Okay, what is the highest you have seen? Well, I'll tell you, I have seen up to 300%. Sayingla. Why? Because the question is, what are they working on? What are they building on? If it is a very, for example, either you take an example of, for example, Infosys or Andamai company, it can be as low as, you're right, I would say, yeah, 40 is a good number. So it can go from anywhere between 40 to this point. Now today, when you're talking about it, the biggest cost, then they are able to ask a very simple question, is that how are they able to improve it, optimize it. ரெண்டு மெத்தட் தான் இருக்கு. ஒன்னு, for whatever you're spending today as a cost, as a percentage, சார் நேத்து எனக்கு 50% பண்ற காஸ்ட் நான் உனக்கு 48 ஆக்குறேன், 46 ஆக்குறேன், 45 ஆக்குறேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு you can work on a cost reduction plan. Or you can come and say, my technology will allow you to say that from 50 what you're spending, I can increase your revenue by 5, 10, 15, 20. It only boils down to two factors. Now, the biggest challenge with IT is that they don't address the front-end business side of it. Please understand, for every 1 rupee revenue, the organization value goes up, the reach goes up, the ratio of profitability goes up. And IT companies, typically, they all come and position themselves as a cost reduction as a primary source. Now in Keklan, then the question is, but my business does not allow me, for example, my business, my product is not a revenue generating product, it is not a supply generation product, it is more of a demand side or the cost side. Then the answer is very clearly, you are able to save this cost, and then you should be able to say that redeploy this on the revenue side, or please don't take this project first. A customer will always respect you if you can tell him what is the right thing for him to do, not because what is good for you, but with what is good for him. And once you gain that trust, and now I'm telling us from a brands person, okay, once you gain the trust, very, very difficult to gain the trust, but once you gain the trust, you know what the advantage is? It's a customer's a money making machine. But to gain the trust, very difficult. Very difficult. Right. So I think I'll just summarize it. So I told you about two things. Okay. I told you about this side. From a company side, my humble request to all of you is that please pool together your resources. Okay. Come together. Try to create a consortium. Try to make total solutions. For example, I'm just throwing something. Let us say we take the same construction industry. If you all able to come together, 10 different softwares, 10 different applications, you should not even go to your customer. You should probably conduct an event. Let's say try to bring one of the big builders from Delhi or Bombay or Calcutta, conduct a session and invite all the construction players in this region to come here and then sponsor that event. So not like to sponsor, thanks to all the sponsors. Please. So you should sponsor that event, bring this, and then you should position your entire offerings. இப்போ ஒவ்வொரு கஸ்டமரா போய் பார்க்கறது எவ்வளவு கஷ்டம்னு எனக்கு தெரியும். ஏன்னா நாங்க 75,000 கடையில ஏறி ஒவ்வொரு கடைக்காரன் கேட்டோம், அம்மா வாங்கிக்கங்க, ஐயா வாங்கிக்கங்கன்னு சொல்லுவோம். அதனாலதான் அப்ப சில பேர் என்ன பண்ணிட்டாங்க, இப்ப டிவி மார்க்கெட்டிங் மாறிட்டாங்க. ஏன்னா நாங்க போய் கடைக்கடையா கேட்க தேவையில்லை. இப்ப டிவியில எங்களுக்காக ஒரு அழகா ஒரு பொண்ணு சொல்லுவா, இந்த ப்ராடக்ட் வாங்கிட்டான்னு சொல்லிடுவாங்க. அதனால எல்லாரும் சொல்லுவாங்க ஓகே ஓகேன்னு. So we are converting from what is called a hard legwork. Obviously the first thing is that form a consortium, have a person, try to visit the customer is probably the A of this model. The B of this model, bring industries together, bring the construction industry, bring for example the real estate industry, or bring for example the FMCG business, or bring the manufacturing, bring 20-30 people and project a use case. You have to show, inga par indama ipdha naanga the machine use pannom, ipdha for example orders process pannom, idanale ivla saying sandisham solli, when you show to those kind of people, your success rate will be phenomenally higher and your spend to revenue ratio will be much, much better than trying to do everything on your own. You will not even get through the security guard. That's the disadvantage of the other option. So this is on this side. Pool together, come up with smart strategies and go attract your potential consumers. On the other side, if you're talking about from a pure technology company, whatever product you already have made, your product usage has to grow up. Has to grow. Don't ask me why. It just has to grow. Whether you charge, whether you give it free, whether you pay them to use it, you have to show an increase. I like your smile, but you have to show increased level of adaptation. And more they get adapted, you will get, they will feed you with inputs. Your product is good here. Your product has a gap here. You don't need to have an R&D to figure out. You don't need a product engineer to say what is the roadmap. They will tell you that this is where the gap is. They will tell you this is what the thing is. And all you have to do is just get it done faster. So, and that can be structured through, I would suggest freemium. I would suggest usage free. In fact, even you can go to the level of outcome based pricing. People are not all aware. Hey, அதெல்லாம் எனக்கு தேவைப்பா, எனக்கு நீ கொடுக்க வேண்டிய அமௌண்ட்டை கொடுத்துரு, நீ என்னன்னாலும் பண்ணிக்கோ. But this is going to be difficult. ஏன்னா இந்த ரூம்ல எத்தனை பேர் இருக்கீங்களோ இதை விட நிறைய பேர் மதுரையில் இருக்காங்க, அதை விட நிறைய பேர் திருச்சி, சேலம், ஈரோடு, கோயம்புத்தூர், பூனே எல்லாம் இருக்காங்க. So everybody when they're thinking the same way, unless you are going to think completely different, it's going to be very, very tough path ahead. So, with this, I would like to say thank you. If any questions, I'll take how many minutes we have. I can take some questions. Is it okay? I can take questions. Okay. Any questions? Something.
Not a question, just I want to know everyone. Sir, சொல்றது மட்டும் இல்ல, market ஆகுன்ற
You wouldn't believe it. When பொதுவா வந்து யாராச்சும் வந்து ஒரு பிசினஸ்ல வந்து அதுவும் உங்க பிசினஸ்க்கு நாங்க காம்படிஷன், தட் மீன்ஸ் வி கோயிங் டு ஸ்டார்ட் இந்த சேம் பிசினஸ் சொன்னா நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுவீங்கன்னு தெரியாது. ஆனா எங்க ஃபாதர் என்ன சொன்னாருன்னா, அமுச்சு விடுங்க, எங்க ஃபேக்டரியில 6 மாசம் ட்ரைனிங் எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம், அதுக்கப்புறமே போட்டுக்கிட்டோம் சொல்லி தான் சொன்னாங்க. ஸோ I don't have such magnanimity like my father, but somewhere I believe the fact is that what he says is right. It's like, for example, நம்ம அம்பானியை பார்க்கலாம், நம்ம அம்பானி ஆயிட முடியாது. நம்ம ஹுசேன் போல்ட்டை பார்க்கலாம், நம்ம ஹுசேன் போல்ட் ஆயிட முடியாது. நீ வந்து ஃபேக்டரியை பார்க்கறனா உன்னால பண்ண முடிஞ்சிச்சுன்னா I'm in a very bad business ன்னு சொல்றதா அவர் சொல்லுவாரு. So I have to change, I have to be innovative, I have to be risk taking, and that is what is keeping us moving. So the credit goes to my father. I will definitely, in fact, incidentally today is my grandfather's death day. So on this, and he was actually the real hero of Inika. I only say I was just lucky to be born into the family. Had I not born into the family, I would have been sitting beside you. But luckily I was born into the family, so I got extra advantage.
When they look at the technology or the IT company, they don't prefer Madurai and prefer Bangalore or Chennai. So this is something we face even now. So what is your take on that?
I'll give you, please okay. நிறைய பொண்ணுங்க இப்பெல்லாம் சொல்றாங்களா, மதுரையில இருந்தா நான் கட்டிக்க மாட்டேன். உங்களுக்கு பொண்ணு இருக்குங்களா? உங்களுக்கு பொண்ணு இருக்குங்களா? உங்களுக்கு பையன் தான் இருக்காண்ணா? அதனால நிறைய பொண்ணுங்க சொல்றாங்களா, பெங்களூர்லயோ இல்ல சென்னையிலயோ போனா போட்டோம், ஹைதராபாத்ல இருந்தா கூட நான் கட்டிக்கிறேன், ஆனா மதுரையில நான் கட்டிக்க மாட்டேன்னு சொல்றாங்களா. ஸோ த ப்ராப்ளம் என்னவா இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? Brand is the problem. You look very confused. Che, I'll not take a tease, so go straight to so. If your product is undifferentiated, இந்த காரணம்லாம் உங்க கண்ணுக்கு பெருசா தெரியும். If your product is out of the box, it is so unique, there is no, and for example ஒரு வேல்யூ வந்து அதுக்கு பக்கத்துல கூட ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் இல்லைன்னா அது மதுரை இல்லை, அது அதையும் தாண்டி குக்கிராமமா இருந்தாலும் அது வந்துடும். Today people are saying for a Me Too product, why would I go to, for example, Madurai? Because they probably say I'm sitting in, let's say, Chennai, அங்கே எனக்கு லோக்கல்ல இருக்க போது கிடைக்க அதே பிரைஸ்ல கிடைக்க போது, அதே மாதிரி ப்ராடக்ட் கிடைக்க போது. Why would I want to take up Madurai unless he's son of the soil, இல்ல உங்க மாமா மச்சான் அந்த மூஞ்சிக்கு ஓகே நான் ஒரு ஏதோ ஹெல்ப் பண்ணணும்னு நினைச்சாதான் பண்ண போறேனோட, your product is not good enough. It really is a fact your product is not good enough, and make the product a killer difference. Okay, I got distracted and deviated in that. So when people come to us for funding, so what they tell is, I like people who have taken the product, who have diagnosed the usage, and then they come back and say, இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு புது capability என் ப்ராடக்ட்ல இம்பீட் பண்ணா my existing clients, not to have 1, 2, 3, my existing clients will become so much better ன்னு சொல்றது is probably what I usually look for. Then your gap between you and the so-called the Me Too difference ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தி ஆயிரும். We'll give you examples. நிறைய பேர் சொன்னாங்க, ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் பெங்களூர்ல தாண்டி வந்து கம்பெனியே வரல, ஐடி கம்பெனியே வரலன்னாங்க. ஆனா when Zoho became so good, people didn't care the fact it was from Chennai, they didn't care the fact it was from Tenkasi. Okay, or Tirunelveli, whatever it is you want to say. But if you talk about, for example, why when the product becomes so good and so big, it doesn't matter. If the product is not good, then you say, "Pa, Tenkasla வந்துச்சு, அதனால தான் the product யாருக்குமே வந்து இதாகல." Because Tenkasla உட்காந்து he did not sell to Chennai. சென்னையில பண்ணா நீ ஏன் தென்காசி? when he's selling in New York, it doesn't matter to him whether it was in Tamil Nadu, whether it is in India, Tenkasi. He did not know. For him, the point is the product is a cloud product. What difference does it make where it came from? Does it make a difference? Do you think it makes a difference? No. So it's like it's a problem. It's a big problem if you keep it here. It's no problem if you keep it here. So it's your choice where you want to keep it.
சார், என்னோட கொஸ்டின் எது, எப்படி ஒரு மீ டூ பிளேயர்ல இருந்து லீடர் ஆகிறது, அந்த டிரான்சிஷன் எப்படி எடுத்துக்கிறது, எப்படி பண்ணணும்?
You need to go through. how much pain are you willing to go through? Anything. Then you'll become a leader. Very simple. Why do you think that it's so simple? The only problem is that you don't want to go through the pain, whether it is hard work, whether it is smart work, whether it is a financial work, whether it is a risk. Ennamo or vishayam, somebody is, okay, because the market is already set. Something is already set. If you want to become a leader, you have to do something much more than all other people have already done. For example, I'll take my company example here. We were in a category called Atta. Many people might know Naga, we are, let's say, Suji or let's say Maida, but people say that Atta irukanu solli kepanga. When I entered the business in 2004, appada the ITC ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு சின்ன the cigarette company அந்த businessல இருந்தாங்க. அப்ப அவங்க என்ன பண்ணாங்க, ஒவ்வொரு ஊர்லயும் ஒவ்வொரு வீட்டுக்கு ஒரு பாக்கெட் ஃப்ரீயா கொடுத்தாங்க. My boss was questioning me monthly P&L போடும்போது ஒரு பாக்கெட்லாம் ஒவ்வொரு வீட்டுக்கு ஃப்ரீயா கொடுத்தா நமக்குலாம் கட்டுப்படி ஆகாது, தேங்க்யூ குட் பைன்னு சொல்லிட்டு I was not willing to take that hit. எப்ப I'm talking in 2004-2005. How much is the hit am I talking about? It would have been perhaps 5 lakhs per month, 10 lakhs per month. I'm just number, I don't remember the exact number. Then 10 years later I realized, oh my God, I'm missing out on a very big market. I'm a fool. Okay, what to do? So then I said, okay, let me give 5 lakhs. Market said no. Okay, let me try with 10 lakhs. Market said no. I said 20 lakhs. No. 40 lakhs. No. I can tell you, I spent more than 10 crores. And I'm still trailing the market. ஆனா இதே ஃபார்ச்சூன் மார்க்கெட் குள்ள வந்தாங்க very late. நான் வந்து 10 years நான் இது பண்றேன். ஃபார்ச்சூன் மார்க்கெட்ல இருந்தாங்க. அவங்க என்ன சொன்னாங்க, இங்க பாருப்பா நீ 20 years இல்லைங்க, you are wasting your time. I from day one buy one get one free. I'm willing to lose 10 crores per month and I'm losing for last 2 years. What can you do to me? Because I'm not trying to tell you lost the only way. I'm giving an example here because the product couldn't be differentiated. Everybody were making decent. In fact, na packet cut pani kodta, you can't say tell the difference between any of those products. Of course, Naga's better. Okay. But having said that, when the product is not differentiated and only what is differentiated was only in the availability on the price, everybody play the price game. They were willing to do what it takes to become a leader. Now, and when you know that it is working, Sona, the market leader who was Ashirwad, who was sitting at 70% market share, changed the strategy and started adapting to a new strategy. I will not give you buy one get one free. I will give you 2 kgs for 100, which fundamentally means the same kind of when the leader changes his strategy and starts to come to you, then you know that you have made a dent. No, this could be one way. Adamari, if you really want to work, if you want to be like, it's all about the pain. You are willing to go through the pain, do it. Unfortunately, it's better to take a pudu product or new category could be better for entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur, unless you have, let's say, cigarette, you know what that, right? Cigarette is the only product where that, you know how much is the tax? 30%. Any guess? 200. Oh, very close. 347. Okay, 350% tax in a product. And after that, they still make 70% margin. You can't compete with somebody who's got a money making machine like that. Okay, that's a different ball game. So that's a background. Or you have a super mamanar. Extraordinary power, you should also do it. You should just say, I will pick up a new strategy, innovative strategy, I'll try to work my way, so it's much better. So, I think with no further questions, shall we wrap it up? I would like to say that my final request is that Madurai, we have a wonderful history. Ancient temple, எப்பவுமே ஹிஸ்டரியை பற்றி நான் ரொம்ப பெருமையாக நம்ம பேசுகிறோம். ஆனால் ஃபியூச்சரை பற்றி பேசும்போது ரொம்ப கன்சர்வேட்டிவாக இருக்கும். Somewhere please shed that mindset. If you don't talk about the rich history what we had. Please think and tell us the richer future what we're going to have in சொல்றது, that is going to be through you. I wish you all the very best.
Sir, so thanks for the interesting thing you have to share with this all persons, and thank you so much for that, and being part of us today, thank you so much for that too. And இன்னைக்கு நம்ம சாரை வந்து இந்த இடத்துல நம்ம ஹானர் பண்றதுல பெருமைப்படணும், பிகாஸ் நிறைய விஷயங்கள் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கா சார் நம்ம கூட ஷேர் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் ப்ளீஸ் கிவ் இட் அ பிக் ரவுண்ட் ஆஃப் அப்ளாஸ் டு தேம். Yes, now we're gonna honoring this person. So let's invite for this Mr. Prabhuram sir, President of SIDA. And really thank you so much for being as part of us today, Mr. Thank you so much for here today. Institution partners, PSY Engineering College. Let's invite the team of PSY Engineering College. Sir, please come, sir. And really thank you so much for all of the team of PSY Engineering College. And thank you. And one more person we're going to honoring here, Solamare College of Engineering. Really thank you so much everyone being a part of us.